We see you. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, my name's Jim Taylor, and I acquired this object about 10 years ago. I will pass it around as I explain its origin. It's quite heavy, so be careful.
Oh, goodness.
Good.
That's heavy. You might want to roll it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, really?
Yeah, really.
I'm serious.
So,
feel it. It's not a part meteorite, is it?
No, it's actually solid tungsten.
Oh,
it's about the density of gold. So imagine Indiana Jones grabbing that gold statue and sticking it in his jacket. And no, it's not going to happen.
Wow.
So I was at a lecture given by Stewart of the Whole Earth Catalog fame. He's a member of an organization called the Long Now Foundation. So this ties in perfectly with the theme of this event. What the Long Now Foundation does is cultivates a sense of perspective on our history, that we are not at the culmination of our history, we're at the very beginning of it. That there are not enough digits in our years, that we need to think very long term. And we need to protect what we've learned and built for the future. To that end, they're building a library in an old salt mine in Nevada, probably not far from Burning Man. And they're attempting to catalog human knowledge for future generations that perhaps would lose touch with our generation through disasters or plagues or whatnot. And in this library, they are cataloging all this information, and they're building the clock of the long now.
Oh, wow.
This clock is intended to be set by some future generation who discovers it, and it will have wound down, say 10,000 years from now. And this clock can be reset by pointing it at the constellations engraved on the clock, so that they'll be able to start it up again. And they'll start it up again by winding the pendulum. You've seen those anniversary clocks that are on mantelpieces under a glass dome. They have 3 little balls on the bottom of it. This is one of those. And they passed around one at the lecture, and I was fascinated from, the physical, density of it. And I called the company that is working on the clock parts, and they were able to ship me a reject. It's not perfectly spherical, so he just sent it to me for the price of the tungsten. The shipping was more than the price of the tungsten.
How much does it weigh?
21 pounds.
Wow.
So there's a quick story, if I can finish it in my allotted time, in the book about the Long Now Foundation, that the British Navy built an observatory in Greenwich in the 1700s. And around about 1995 or something, the architects noted that the timbers were starting to fail. These magnificent, huge timbers supporting the roof. And they didn't know where they were going to get lumber of that size any longer. And then, coincidentally, a letter arrived from a former British colony in the far reaches of the tropics somewhere. It said, your timber is ready. They had grown these trees. When they planted these trees, they did it so that 300 years from now, when the wood was starting to age in the roof of the observatory, the trees would be ready to replace those timbers. So this is the kind of perspective on, we have to think about the long term. We're so focused on now. We're not the culmination of our civilization, we're the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And that's the history of the tungsten
Can I
ball.
get a picture of you holding it? Wow, that's a heavy thing.
And this is a cow magnet that happens to fit nicely in the little hole. This is what cows, they feed them to cows to collect the metal fragments that they might ingest. And this I just found in scrap metal. So
So together it becomes your little.
it becomes my little object day art.
Perfect time.